From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBI CBB PrimeTime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. And man, it is kind of late, the time I'm starting the show, but hey, we're getting the show started regardless, though, right? So pretty much it is what it is. I got a little caught up watching the press conference and everything a little bit earlier, so that's what kind of kept me away from you guys for a little bit. So pretty much I'm here now. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. And pretty much let's go ahead and talk about that press conference. They have now completed the coast-to-coast press conferences that were for the Ryan Garcia Tank Davis fight. And pretty much I'm kind of perturbed because I was supposed to be there, but it is what it is at the end of the day. It was over at the Beverly Hilton on Wilshire. That used to be my stomping grounds right there because I used to work over on Wilshire and Doheny. So pretty much it was over down the way over at the Hilton, and they had some spirited words this time around. Yesterday they were a little bit more it was a little bit more chilled, a little bit more relaxed because New York City, you can't get too crazy in New York City. Chairs and stuff start flying, man, and it's just chaos. But LA, it's tame. You got a lot of police officers there, you got a lot of security there. So everybody's gonna talk, but they're not gonna do anything. So pretty much from what I saw, that we saw some mental warfare going on there. And I would say that round one would go to Tank Davis because Tank Davis has been here before. Tank Davis has sold out every headliner that he has been featured on. He does have a consecutive streak since 2018 as well on selling out venues. We all know that Tank has probably sold out his last, 8 fights. So pretty much, and they were all arenas as well, too, only minus the StubHub Center where he had his first headliner in LA. So that's why they were doing a press conference in Los Angeles, because they know that Tank does have a presence in LA. So Tank is really making the transition from being just a star in boxing to being a true superstar. And yes, he can come as late as he wants because us media members are going to wait for him. He's reserved that right. He's earned that right. Other than can't say the same thing for Ryan Garcia, though. Ryan Garcia has fought literally nobody. Okay, I think he has one person on his resume, Leon Campbell, and I have a ton of respect for Ryan. Ryan is exceptional puncher. Has exceptional power for the weight class that he's in. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and start calling this one of the greatest fights of all time. And this is going to be a classic. And this reminds me of the 80s and the 90s, Four Kings and blah, 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 blah. No, this is just a fight. Okay, this fight would have been on honestly, this fight would have been on HBO After Dark 15 years ago. Let's just keep it real. Because if you don't have belts, you don't have championships, and you do have somewhat of a following, then they'll have one of these type of fights, the Show and Prove fight, as a After Dark fight. It's not a pay-per-view fight. So I'm not taking anything away from this fight. This fight is only in such high demand because the sport is literally in shambles right now. If you don't get yourself a heavyweight from the U.S. in the next 18 months, not named Deontay Wilder, to win a championship, then you might be able to save boxing. But you know what? You got about 18 months before people truly lose full interest in this sport. Because even myself, a diehard boxing fan, I'm starting to kind of get my little, it was fun while it lasted, but I'll still be here. But there's just a lot of things that need to happen. And I just think that the oversell of this fight is a bit too much. You know what I mean? It's going to live up to the expectations of what you want one side to do. It's not going to live up to the expectations of what the other side wants to do. That's what people have to understand. Will Ryan Garcia have the biggest moment of his life, or will this just be another footnote in Tank Davis's career? We'll know all these answers on April 26th. So till then, we'll come back to it when it's fight week. But for now, we're going to go ahead and move on and talk about some NFL news real quick. We have probably the best running back in the NFL right now. Well, stats-wise, he broke a record, so that was pretty good. He broke the Raiders record, so that was excellent in a sense, and he led the league in rushing, the first Raider to do so, and since I think Marcus Allen, or so pretty much you have Josh Jacobs. He got tagged. He didn't get money. He got tagged. So will he be able to secure a rich deal that is much deserved? I think he does. I truly do. I think that what it has to be is a lot of front end money here, and it has to be incentive based as well too. And I think that he'll get his money. I think that he can probably get 40, 50 million guaranteed, because his contract isn't a contract that they'll be looking at to do multiple, do 5-6 years on. It's like a 3-4 year deal. So I would say front end money. And if you give him 40 for, say, a 5-year deal, 40 up front, then you literally only paying him 8, but you say, okay, the contract's worth 80, and it's after incentives and everything like that. So, it's a performance-based contract. That's literally what they're going to do. They're pretty much doing with all running backs, especially running backs that are demanding these high dollars. Everything has to be incentive-based when it comes to a running back. It has to be bonuses. It has to be carries. It has to be certain things. But we know that they can really mess your money up as well too, because you have coaches that have vendettas, or you have coaches that have been instructed by the general manager and all those guys to not give you a certain amount of carries to get your money. So, this is where things get a little tricky. But I think that Josh really wants to make sure that he's a part of this team for the long haul. The Raiders have this vision of being a really great team sooner rather than later. And I think that with Josh in place, you still have the makings of that. They are in the process of getting their new quarterback. We don't know if that's going to be a veteran. We don't know if it's going to be a rookie. I quite honestly think that it has to be a veteran. You cannot bring a rookie into this situation with Josh McDaniels and hope for the absolute best in the situation. No, you're not going to get that. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take your time, breathe a little bit, and put yourself in position to win football games. And I think that if they ride Josh Jacobs in the running game next season, the Raiders will be in great shape. So that means that the alternative will be Jimmy G. It's very simple. Jimmy G and the Raiders make too much sense at this point in time. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But I do doubt Aaron Rodgers is on the way. And truly, the Raiders don't need Aaron Rodgers, because if you thought that Derek Carr was something, well, you ain't ready for no Aaron Rodgers then. If you couldn't handle Derek Carr's little wanting to win situation, then you can't handle Aaron Rodgers and his back and forth with, does he want to retire? Does he even like the fan base? Does he even like the NFL? The Raider fans they don't have the stomach for that. So I know they want the arm, they want the talent, but the Raiders and Aaron Rodgers are not a good fit. It don't even matter if Devontae Adams is on the Raiders. It just doesn't matter. It just won't work. But Jimmy G, game manager, very familiar with Josh McDaniels, it makes too much sense. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about the NBA playoff picture. NBA playoff picture real quick. We got a lot of good things going on with the playoff picture right now. You have Steph Curry, who's came back. LeBron is still getting evaluated. The Lakers find themselves in the 9-hole now. Joel Embiid and the Sixers are just cruising together. I'm telling you. So pretty much that's what you have. You just got a lot of good things going on with everybody. And so pretty much what do we have here? We have ourselves a very peculiar situation. You have a Denver team that's sitting pretty right now. They don't have to worry about much. They're sitting at the top. They are 46-20. They have themselves a 7-game lead ahead of everybody. They're even ahead of the Lakers by 14 games. The Lakers are in the 9 hole, and New Orleans has joined them back in the play-in situation. They have the same record. The Clippers were able to get back on the good foot the other night with that good win. The Clippers find themselves back in the 6 hole. Minnesota has moved back down into the 7 hole, and they're tied with Dallas. And Dallas might be having a little bit of a day of reckoning right now. They're gonna have to tighten up. It's like seriously, they're gonna have to tighten up, and they're gonna have to tighten up big time. And then you have a very good run going right now by Sacramento. Sacramento is right now looking at a possibility of being the 2 seed. Okay. And they're playing some great basketball. They've won their last 7 out of 10 as well, too. So there's a lot of things working on in their favor. Phoenix, though, this is why we're talking about NBA playoff picture. Phoenix is 37-29 today. They put a little cushion between them, the Warriors and the Clippers. Okay. So they're 3 games ahead of the Warriors and the Clippers. All right. And they're 5 games ahead of the Lakers right now. I only say this because they're all in the Pacific Division, and everybody's been chasing Sacramento for some time now. So Phoenix, with the idea that Kevin Durant could be out for the season after another setback, he was in the layup line and absolutely slipped. It didn't look like much at first, but then he slipped and actually fell over. And then he sat there for a few minutes and then finished up his routine, so everybody thought he was going. And then it was pretty crazy because like literally like they did not have the capability of knowing that they were really risking things. They got this idea that KD's good to go, blase, blase. But I was like, KD was just dealing with a leg injuries before he even got there. He was hurt when he got there. So it's a lot of things that you knew that Phoenix was risking. This was always on the table that Kevin Durant could get hurt. And I think that when it comes down to it, Phoenix is going to wind up being the team that finds themselves out of the mix. It sounds crazy now, but I think they're going to be the team that finds themselves out of the mix. I'm going to be dead honest with you. Not missing the playoffs or anything like that, but they're not going to be able to sit pretty here in this 4 hole for much longer. But this is absolutely nuts that we may have the whole Pacific Division in the playoffs. That's nuts. And the Lakers are only now 2 games behind the Clippers. So, the Clippers do own the season series already because I think they beat us 3 times. But still, it's going to be something that's going to be spectacular, man. And I think that all in all, when it comes down to it, that you do have yourself a very good run here in the West. Now, let's look at the East real quick. There's not much to look at. The East has 4 teams, but the Knicks are on the rise right now, and the Nets are still hanging around, but the Nets are going to be a play-in team eventually. It's just a matter of time. That's the whole thing. Even though they have a great record, they've won enough to get to the playoffs, in my opinion. You know what I mean? If they keep winning. That's the whole thing. You got to keep winning, though. They're only 2 games ahead of Miami now, and they are 4 games ahead of Atlanta. And New York is playing some of their best basketball at this point of the year in like a very long time. So there's a lot of excitement in New York City. And then you have Chicago chomping at the bit to try to get into this play-in. They're going back and forth with the Wizards right now. But when you look at it, their top 3 is just really tough in this division. And I think that when it all comes down to it, it's between the Celtics and the Bucks, to be honest. But Philadelphia could have some say. But Philadelphia would really love for the Bucks to not be the team that they have to play, if the Bucks to be the team that they play, not the Celtics. The Celtics have owned them in the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But that's the NBA playoff picture for today. And if the NBA playoffs were to start today, the Lakers would not be in. okay? If you just do it the old way. But with the play-in, the Lakers do have a play-in, and they would face off with Dallas. And that would be a tough game, but it would be a winnable game for the Lakers, in my opinion. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move from there. And this is the Premier Sports Betting Show. So pretty much we have ourselves another really fun topic, and that's going to be 30 teams in 30 days. And 30 teams in 30 days, we have the Texas Rangers. And with the Texas Rangers, we have ourselves a very, 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 very good situation going. The Texas Rangers find themselves a team that wants to get back to winning some baseball. You know what I mean? And this team went 68-94 last season. Okay. And did they ever really have points to where they were really like them boys? And they really didn't. They just had a very bad pitching staff, and that really was deterred everything for this team. I'll just be honest with you. It just made the season just, whatever. But a lot of the guys that they spent heavy on weren't ready until literally the end of the year. So, the Rangers are a team that's still building in a sense, but they spent some money. They spent some money this offseason. They went ahead and they spent some money going out and getting who was seen as one of the greatest pitchers of the 21st century, and that's going to be Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom is an absolute monster, but Jacob deGrom is already at one of his favorite places, the injury reserve. But he is projected to throw 209 strikeouts this year to 33 balls and win 11 games, have a 2.71 ERA. And we all know on deGrom Day, you're going to have the under 6.5. So, you got to get ready for that. But behind him, he has Martin Perez, who was Martin Perez, a few years back was a good pitcher. I don't know about now, but he was a pretty good pitcher back then. John Gray held it down for Colorado for many years, and he held it down for the Rangers last season. So he should be a good pickup as well. Nathan Eovaldi, we all remember him being the World Series hero for the Boston Red Sox. He's a little bit more up there in age, but he brings the senior arm that should be pretty good for this team. And then you have Andrew Heaney, who pitched with the Dodgers last year. He wasn't healthy most of the season, so pretty much they were able to get some things out of him there at the end of the year. Heaney was a nice, spot starter when you needed him, a nice little rotation, a nice little relief guy and everything like that. He should be able to revamp his career here in Texas because, the Dodgers have a good way of getting pitchers back into great shape. And so pretty much he's now with the Rangers, a former rival of the first team he played with, the Angels. So they're familiar with them, and they're excited to have him, and it should be pretty good. Now, Marcus Semien is seen as is going to be the leadoff man this year, and he is projected to have 26 home runs, 92 runs scored, and 77 RBIs with 18 stolen bases. Corey Seager is 27, 84, 83. And these guys got pretty high strikeout rates, but not crazy high strikeout rates. You know what I mean? Nate Lowe is a guy that you got to take very seriously, but Adolis Garcia could be something special this year. He's projected to hit 27 home runs himself and get 19 stolen bases. If they can get this guy to be more than just a power hitter and be a 5-tool guy, this could be something spectacular for the Rangers moving forward. But a guy that gets me excited with this team is going to be Bubba Thompson. Bubba Thompson, I know it sounds crazy today, but Bubba Thompson seems like a guy that's going to be able to get, runs produced. He doesn't have a great projection going right now because they don't have him getting a lot of at-bats and everything this year. But I think that he can go ahead and surprise some people this year. I saw some good things in him, and I think that it could be something that works out very well for the Rangers moving forward. Now, Brad Miller is a guy that's another project player as well too. So you can see, so he may be able to do some things as well too. Josh Jung is somebody that does represent the X factor. If he can have a good season, then you're possibly going to get some things out of the Rangers, to be honest. But the Rangers just, once again, they're kind of like the Oakland A's. They just really don't have anything, but they do have some pitchers to build on. You know, they spent the money. That's what one thing you'll give them their props on. They spent the money. And when you spend the money, you're saying that you want to win baseball games. And I totally dig that. You know what I mean? A lot of teams don't have that mentality. And the Rangers are set up to be much better than they were last season because they got the players to do it. You look at the top of their lineup; it can be an all-star. They can produce at least 3 to 4 all-stars when you look at them at the top of their lineup. But then once you get out the top of the lineup, it's like, okay, it gets a little sparse from there. But, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. And I truly do feel that the Rangers will surprise all of us. They got them set up at 82.5 right now. And I would say this. I think that they go over the 82.5. How about that? I think that they go over this number because I think that by being in the same division as a great team like the Astros, they're going to make everybody step up their game this year. And I think everybody will step up their game this year. They're going to be tough. Everybody's going to be tough at home, and they're going to make things very, very, difficult on their opponents. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But there it goes. There it goes. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to skip commercials today because I have to do another show at 4:00, and I have to be wrapped up with this in a few minutes. So pretty much not a few minutes, but I just need to go straight through. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to jump into our NBA Thursday night. First, we have the Rockets and the Pacers tonight. The Rockets and the Pacers. This should be a good game. This is a funny spread somewhat in a sense from what I can see here. But you got Rockets coming into this game 15-50. You have the Pacers who are coming into this game 29-37. You got an over-under of 236.5 and a spread of 9.5. Now, the Pacers haven't been this big of a favorite like literally all season, but it makes sense because you're going against the Rockets who are absolutely pathetic. So I think when you have a team like the Pacers who are still chasing the play-in, but I don't know if they're too worried about that anymore because they do have a high draft pick coming as well too, because they'll be in the lottery, and I think the NBA is going to look out for them this year when it comes to the lottery. I always feel like the lottery's rigged, so I don't really care what they feel about balls and things of that nature. They put the teams in place to be where they want them to be because they want certain teams to be a little exciting, or you might want to bring a certain player there because he'll fit that certain demographic a little bit better, just like making sure LaMelo got to Jordan, little stuff like that. So, at the end of the day, I truly do feel like this one will wind up being a game that's dominated by the Pacers, to be honest with you. So I got the Pacers with the -9 to actually go ahead and win this game by 10 or better. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. We have ourselves a very, very fun game tonight with the Magic and the Jazz. And the Jazz come in here 31-35. The Magic are 27-39. Now, when it comes down to the 3.5, it's the -3.5. It's something that is, it's a little tricky tonight because Orlando is not really good when they're a favorite. It's a 234.5 over and under. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and circle the Jazz to go ahead and be the winner tonight. I like them with the +140. Let's see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But that will be my NBA dog of the day, and that's going to be the Utah Jazz. All right, so let's go ahead, jump into our next game, and that's going to be the Warriors and the Grizzlies. The Warriors and Grizzlies. This should be another really good, fun one. You have the Warriors coming in here feeling pretty good. They're sitting right now. They're back in motion with the 6th seed and everything like that, with 5th seed actually, right by the Clippers and everything. So they're both, they're feeling good about themselves right now. You got everybody in their little group 4, 5, and 6. So, the Warriors are trying to get everything back in the mix. You got the Grizzlies who are going through the absolute most right now at the worst type of situation. Ja Morant is still away from the team. They said it was 2 games. Now they're saying it's 4 games. Next thing you know, it's going to be the rest of the month because he's still under investigation for possibly bringing a gun onto the airline, so onto the airplane. So that situation is not closed yet. So they don't know when they're going to get the face of the franchise back, but I think that they need to start just being prepared to go life without job for the next few weeks because that's how it's looking to me. I don't think that they're going to let him miss the playoffs, but if it does come back that he brought the gun onto the plane, he's getting suspended for 50 games. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's Mando. It's going to happen. So hopefully that wasn't his gun. So pretty much what we have going here is that you have a desperate team to get themselves back in the mix, and that's going to be the Grizzlies. And then you got a team in the Warriors who are trying to get themselves in steady position so they don't have to worry about being in a play-in because, the last time the Warriors were in a play-in, they got put out by the Grizzlies. So what I see here is a game that is going to be defensive tonight. Let's just go ahead and say that. I think the Grizzlies are going to play some defense tonight. They're going to figure out how to stagnate that 3 a little bit tonight. And I think what happens here, we get the under 235 tonight. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, we got ourselves our next one is going to be the Nets and the Bucks. The Nets and the Bucks. It's a good game tonight. And I'll just be quick here. I've been getting you guys money all week, okay? We had the Bulls last night. I gave you the Bulls. They went ahead and they won that game by 21 points. I gave you the Hornets the other night. They were a +10. They went ahead and won that game by 6. Tonight, the Nets are my +9 insurance game, but this could be another big dog winner for you guys tonight as well too. So go ahead and sprinkle some change on that +300 tonight as well. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But I love the +9 on the Nets tonight. The Bucks don't have much to lose. The Nets are still scraping for that playoff position right now as well too. Nobody has instructed them that they're gonna have to tank, and I don't think that Jock Vaughn wants to tank. So we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out. But I love the +9 on this game tonight, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the nightcap. And the nightcap is going to be the Knicks and the Kings. The Knicks are playing some of their best basketball right now. They are absolutely in fuego. They are on fire. There's nothing that people can say about the New York Knicks right now. The New York Knicks are playing very good basketball, and New York is proud. New York is getting excited. They've won their first 3 out of 4 for this month as well, too. As I said before, they lost the other night by 7 to the Hornets at the Garden, so it's okay. They start this 4-game West Coast road trip with Sacramento tonight, the Clippers on Saturday, and then they draw the Lakers on Sunday. Then Tuesday they got Portland. Then it's back to New York City to play Denver and Minnesota. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. Then they go back on the road next Wednesday and Thursday, and then they have 2 more home games, and they finish up at on the road in Cleveland. So pretty much the Knicks right now, they have a lot of they got about 7 road games for this month and 4 home games. So the Knicks are getting themselves acclimated to it. It starts tonight. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it checks out. But I like the over 240 because it seems like the Knicks always get into some scoring barrage games with teams that score a high amount of points. And Sacramento is the #1 team in the NBA when it comes to scoring, averaging 121 points a game. So there it is. There it is. There it is. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into my favorite subject, your favorite subject, talking tickets. And here we are. We're talking tickets. So talking tickets up first. We have the PK6, 47-1 CBB. We have Oklahoma State +6.5. Quinnipiac -5.5. We have UNC money line +120. We got Stanford +10. We got the -5 on Creighton, and then we also have Riverside money line -150. And that's going to be UC Riverside as well too for folks that don't know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's a Big West team, so let's see how it goes. Let's see how it checks out. But 47-1 ticket right here, and then we got the 32-1 NBA ticket. I know the Dog Day ticket, but we started a lot of the Dog Day games that I put out on the list that I tweeted out. those games start a lot earlier, so I couldn't put together the right group because it wouldn't have made sense. But I gave you guys Iowa State today, so you can't act like I didn't show you some love. All right, so we have the NBA Super High Five. We got 32-1 with the Pacers at -9. We also have the Jazz with +130. We also have the under 235.5 with the Warriors and the Grizzlies. And then we have the +9.5 with the Nets. And then we have the over 240 with the Knicks and the Kings. So that's going to give us a 32-1 ticket. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. And there it is. That's Talkin Tickets for you today. And that's going to be our show for today as well, too. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and this is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper. And as I always like to say, I'll be right back at you, and that's tomorrow about, I would probably say either noon or 2 p.m., because we do have All In on the No Filter Network tomorrow as well. So you guys make sure to tune in for that and participate as well, too, because that show you can chat with me as the show is going on. So I thank you guys very much. And once again, that is our show for today. And that is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper. And I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.